Hey guys, welcome back to Old Time Yamahas. If you're new here, I'm Taylor and we're all about old Yamaha stuff. So snowmobiles. In this video you'll see something that I picked up last fall, and yeah, so let's get right into it. Thanks for watching. All right, so 2000 Yamaha Blaster. Not really a snowmobile obviously, but my friend has two of these and he kept egging me to get one, so I finally picked one up. Kind of a basket case initially, but it's all stock. Motor has been completely rebuilt. And yeah, today we're gonna be doing a FMF Fatty pipe and a Power Core 2 silencer, and upjet the carb to run the pipe. So that'll be basically this video, but you can just give them a walk around of a stock Blaster. Here we got brand new FMF Fatty and the Power Core 2 silencer. That's gonna be going on. I'm gonna have to plug chop, but I'm thinking starting at like a 310 to a 320 main on the stock Mikuni. Currently there's a 260 main in this. It just has Boysen reeds, I believe, and a old beater FMF silencer on it. So other than that, it's bone stock. Oh yeah, the Airbox lid is off. Shout out Joel Jansen Motorsports out of Kaukauna, Wisconsin. So a bit north of where I'm at, but anyway, he has worked with a company, I think, to have these 3D printed. These are his Airbox lids, and they're waterproof, this netting is, and then it obviously allows a lot more air into the Airbox, because factory these have a lid over this. And then I got a Maxima pre-oiled foam filter on here, so the whole Airbox is intact still got the intake tube. First thing we're gonna do for this pipe install, we got to do this coupler here. So I'll just start by unscrewing this coupler. This just connects the pipe and the silencer. This is pretty stripped out. I think I can just maybe do this one. Ooh. There we go. So that should allow us to get the whole pipe off, which is just like radiator clamped to the frame. So I'll get a flat head here and undo that. And then hopefully we can get this silencer off. It does sound all right though, for a stock pipe, wouldn't you agree?
I do.
Do you even think I have to pull this whole thing off? There we go. Okay. We won't even need this radiator clamp anymore, because we should have all the mounting hardware. I probably look like an absolute buffoon trying to...
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
that should be enough. Maybe. Okay, never mind. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Look at how like cobbled this thing looks. Like I don't even know what this wire is. This is maybe holding in a leak or something. There's like tape over it. Joel just threw that on for me because my stock silencer he thought was plugged, and that's why it wasn't running right. Okay. Now, I think is that gonna work? Yes. So. Yeah. So there's our stock pipe from 2000, 25 years old. Ooh. It's gonna be all dented.
What?
Pipe's gonna be all dented by the time I get it in. I think. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Like this. I still don't know about the spring though. The exhaust spring. All right, pipe is on. I figured out this exhaust spring has to go on the head after thinking I was missing a part. I got some high temp exhaust sealant on where that mounts. Those are tightened down. There's the FMF. So I think I'm gonna have to get a new coupler. This is just the stock one. I mean, it's kind of on, but not really. And then there's our power core. So next is rejet. Like I said, I think earlier in the video, probably a 320 main and then I want to up the pilot too. Stock pilot on these is a 32.5, I believe. So I'm gonna go to a 34 pilot, I believe it is. So this is all pretty tight on here. So gonna tear into the carb now, and then we'll be able to start it. Onto the carb. I already got the fuel turned off. Bowl is probably still full of fuel though, but you just gotta take off these two clamps to the reed block intake, and then the tube up to the filter. And then scoot this over. So there's our carb. Oh. Getting excited to rip the little blaster. See how, if it feels any faster or not. And then later on I'll have to do a plug chop, which, if you guys don't know what a plug chop is, basically you run at like full throttle once it's warm, of course. Once there's heat in the pipe and everything, you run wide open in a higher gear. Like these are 6 speeds, so 5th or 6th gear. Hold it wide for a few seconds, and then while still holding the throttle all the way wide open, you cut the ignition, and then pull the plug right away, and you can replace it with a new plug. And with that old plug that it was running on, you basically cut the threads off, and then you can read the whole electrode of the plug to see how your jetting is. And that's how you, there's already a mosquito. All right, I gotta get a 6 mil for that main jet. So here's our main. Take this little splash guard off. And then there's this washer that you don't want to lose that goes over the emulsion tube. And I just dropped it. Here it is. So here we go. So hopefully you can see that. but this is a 250, I believe, or a 260 main. It's getting hard to read. So we're gonna upjet to, I think I'm gonna do a 320 because rich will be better than lean. So got my jet kit here. Here's a 360, that's really big. Shout out Jets R Us. This is where I got this jet kit. And we're also gonna do a bigger pilot, which will be this guy. Okay, so I don't know if you can read that, but this is a 35 pilot, so we're gonna run that. And then let me find the 320 main. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that. This is our 320 main. So washer, main, and here we go. And like I said before, I have no idea. This might be way too fat, like as in rich, for a stock motor. This has a Pro X rod on it, I should say. And stock bore and everything. Now I'm gonna pull our pilot, which is in this hole. Shoot. There we go. Okay, so we got, yep. I have no idea if you guys can see that, but it's a 32.5, which is a stock pilot for a Yamaha Blaster. And then here's our 35 that's going in. So I'm probably gonna have to adjust the air screw quite a bit, really mess with it to get the pilot to be happy. I'm not sure yet. This is my first Blaster. This is actually my first ATV I've ever owned. And I'm 32, but it's fun. So we'll get this pilot in. No need to crank on it because they're just copper, or brass, I mean. And this goes over the main and in that little pilot thing. So there we go. We got our 320 main, and then we got our 35 pilot. And here's our bowl. Still looking pretty clean. I see a little scuzz in there. Maybe. Oh, maybe it's just like damage. Yep. So this is good to go back on, and then we'll see how it runs. Get these started. And this is a JIS screwdriver, Japanese International Standard. I probably mentioned it in some of the Yamaha videos, the sled videos, I should say. And this is just the Japanese style screwdriver that is meant to not strip out your carb bowl Phillips head screws, because so many Hondas and Japanese bikes and snowmobiles that I've seen are so screwed, or not screwed, the carb bowl screws I've seen, just them absolutely ruined by like the wrong size screwdriver. So there we go. Get these snugged. And we can finally get our car back on and start this thing. I believe FMF calls for a 310 main with this exhaust setup, but just to play it on the safe end, I went up one size to a 320 main. There's also very few hours on this engine, so it's broken in by now, but it's still a very fresh engine, so. Okay, so we got our bowl on. We'll get this in the carb boot. There we go. And then this is always kind of a problem. Getting this stupid intake tube thing onto the car again. Really gotta fight it sometimes, I think. Jeez. Okay. Almost there. There we go. Nope. Carb's back in. Like I said, 320 main, 35 pilot. So we're gonna attempt the first start on the jetting and the new FMF. So there it is. It's nice and shiny. All right. Turn the fuel on. Just making sure everything's good. Key on. Oh. Yeah. Getting too excited. Didn't put away my tools. Run. We'll choke it.